What's up, everyone? This is Vandy and Wolf from Pacers Gaming, and welcome to another episode of Pacers Gaming Podcast presented by Salesforce. Today, we got the point guard builds, so let's get right into it. The three-point Playmaker 1, not used that much. We'll go over it. 6'3" is not really great for 3v3 or 5v5. It's too slow. It's too tall. You want to get in that threshold of 6 foot to 6'1". Even the 6'2" is pretty good too, but we'll get to that later. So the three-point Playmaker 1, let's get into the badges and attributes. So, first off, we got the dunking. It's pretty good. You kind of need dunking for a point guard, especially when you're going against those centers that are 7 foot, 7'1", that can easily block you in the paint. The 3-point's pretty good. 88 is not as good as the other builds. Ball handling's all right. Defense is all right. Regardless, the badges aren't that great on this build. I think that's the key component on this and why it's not one of the most used builds. You don't really have great playmaking badges. Shooting badges are pretty mid. You got posterizers, slithery finisher, windlass takeoff, which is pretty good for a point guard, but other than that, it's not really used that much.
I don't think nobody uses this. The 87 ball handles, that's pretty low for a point guard. Moving real slow, you're 6'3". I think they try to put this build in for like a hybrid, like a little bit of defense because you're taller and it has some defensive badges, but overall, the point guard's usually in the corner on 5-on-5, so like you don't really need this much defense. You want to stack your offense as much as possible, and this build just doesn't cut it. I don't think nobody in the league used this at all. Going against them, I don't remember. But the other two builds are really good, so we could move on.
We got the three-point Playmaker 2, 6 foot, best probably PG build for 5v5. I'd say probably 85-90% of the league uses this. We'll get into it. We got a 74 dunk, which is pretty good. You can get dunks off. You're not going to go for layups that often. The 95-3 is amazing. The free throw is amazing. The mid-range is really good too. When you look at the playmaking, it's probably the best playmaking in the game. You got the defense, which is pretty bad, but at 5v5, you're playing the corner.
You're in the corner.
Yeah, you're not doing too much. And then the speed's just amazing. You got 95 excel. I think that's probably the highest excel by all these point guard builds. But yeah, this is the best build for 5v5. I've been using it all year. I played one game on the 6'2", but other than that, the 6 foot is easily probably the best build. You can shoot from half court. It's really a threat on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, you're gonna get picked on, and we've seen it a lot.
But you're in the corner, so it's fine. People may cut on you here and there, but team defense can help that. Or you got the bronze interceptor in the lanes. No, this build is definitely dangerous. I've seen what it could do firsthand. It's really, really good. It's very fast, as you can tell. But, this is I think it's the best one, honestly. The best Pro-Am PG build. Or probably, I think maybe the second best build overall. Because some people use this build in the 3-on-3. Because it has the gold tight handles, which obviously gives it stun animations, and that's, broken. So, this is probably like one of the best point guard builds in our league build.
Yeah, I think the only downfall on this build is that there's the team rating boost as its takeover compared to the other builds that have sharp takeover.
More scoring.
And it's harder to get your badge with playmaking badge compared to shooting badge because a lot of point guards score more than they do just throw assists all the time. So and when you look at that, it's harder to get the badge. But if you are a playmaking type point guard, this is easily like the best build to use because you'll get badged a lot easier. So we'll go to the next one, which is probably the second best build for point guards for the 5v5 setting. It's the offensive threat build, 6'2". Like I said, the threshold you really want is 6 foot to 6'1" with all that speed. But in this case, the league made a 6'2" build, and we'll get into that. So you got the 92 dunk, which is outrageous. You see a lot of contact dunks.
Especially with the right stick,
Yeah, you got to time it, but there's a skill gap to timing this year compared to, remember last year? Oh my gosh, that was insane. You get contact dunks all the time. It was in, retail version of the game that everyone could buy, and then also the league build. I don't know what's going on with those sliders, but it was insane. So you go with the three-point shot, which is pretty good. Mid-range is probably the best. You can hit a lot of contested shots with the mid-range. The free throws the best probably for the point guard build. The handling's all right. You're not going to be too fast. You lose stamina pretty quickly with this build. I used it a couple times. I can do a couple dribble moves, and then I'm already gassed out.
Yeah.
And I think for a lockdown, and your point of view, when you look at that and you see that he's dribbling a lot, it's easier to get plucks.
Yeah,
right?
with this build is easier. When I play against this build, it's easier to get plucks. I try to go under screens more because it's slower. Because you see that 90 acceleration with the speed with ball and all that is like lower than the 6 foot. So it's gonna move slower laterally, which is better for me to keep up. But I mean, this build is definitely a menace in the paint. Yeah. Any single lane, most PGs will just hold down the right stick, try to time it. Yeah. It could be annoying sometimes, but and then defensively too, I think this is like one of the better 5-on-5 defensive builds. You don't see much, but the 78 steal and the gold interceptor, and being 6'2", you could play some lanes and pretty much steal every single cut. Yeah. So that kind of negates all kind of like, I guess, quote unquote picking on you on defense, because you're tall and you have interceptor and you can play the lanes and you have sticks. So it's like, this is definitely a really good balance PG build, but it has some downsides, being slow, being able to get plucked more. So I see why some PGs kind of shy away from it.
Yeah. I'll say another thing, with that steal and perimeter defense, I mean, we can look back at the offense or the 3-point playmaker 2, the 6 foot. I mean, it's a huge difference. It's night and day right here. I mean, you can steal more passes with this. You get more turnovers on defense for this.
Mm-hmm. And the 2 inches and the wingspan.
Yeah, the wingspan's insane on this build too. I don't even know what the wingspan is, but it's pretty big.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, you can see, let's see Genji. Genji uses them up top.
They do.
We have Gallo that plays up top. There's a couple point guards in the league that play up top.
Splashy used this for a little bit.
Yeah.
Bash, I think. I'm trying to think of any other point guards, but it's probably the top 3 that comes to my mind.
And, they play up top, try to get stops, but it's also for get their badge with the fast break leak outs. So that's also another reason why this is a most used build. We'll go into the 3v3 builds. So the bottom 2 are always 3v3 builds. In previous videos, I think we've talked about that as well. So the Playmaker Shot Creator 1 is my build that I use in 3v3. I did use the Playmaker Shot Creator 2 for the first tournament, and then I switched over to this build, and I'll explain why right now. So you got no dunking. You can't dunk at all. There's no driving at all. If I go for a layup, my guy's doing a jelly roll. And that's it. And it might get blocked to the 3rd row. So, I mean, you got 70 layups, so you can at least hit a little bit of layups. The mid-range is all right. I don't really take mid-ranges. You know me.
Not in threes.
I'm going for threes or the slip.
Yep.
So the 3-point shot is 99. That's the giveaway here. You get a 99 3. You get Blinders Hall of Fame, Chef Hall of Fame, Deadeye Hall of Fame, Stop and Pop Hall of Fame, Mismatch Expert on gold, Lucky 7 on gold. Like, all these badges are insane on this build. And then we'll go into playmaking. I mean, 97 pass accuracy. I mean, Bold Passer on Hall of Fame. This is the only build that has Bold Passer on Hall of Fame, which isn't a huge difference from Hall of Fame to gold. But the ball handling is amazing. You got 95 ball handling. The speed with ball is about the same with every other PG build. And then, I mean, the badges on that, I mean, quick first step, Hall of Fame. Everything else is really gold except for, you get bailout and glue hands on bronze, silver. So that's pretty good. And I just noticed this right now. I have gold floor general. I didn't even notice that before.
Oh,
when we were playing.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll take the bonus. I'll take that. I know Jomar will too.
Yeah. But you know how it goes with, like, you get dimer, and you're like, dimer, it affects my jump shot. It's making it quicker, Yeah. Like, some people are like that. So I thought that was funny. I didn't even know I had floor general. I mean, like, perimeter defense is pretty good.
It's solid, yeah. I mean, you got good defensive badges. The gold interceptor is kind of troll because you're 6 foot with, like, mini arms. So, like, you're not really going to steal much. But, I think this build, playing against it and seeing Vandy play, like, crazy. Like, you could shoot insane amount of peekaboo threes and faders and shoot from half court. Like, it's annoying to guard because you have to, like, pretty much be up on it every time. And a lot of teams we play will struggle because they're like double you, and then the slip is open, or I'm popping, or Jomar's cutting, or Jomar's flaring up, and like, it kind of opens up a lot of the offense. But then when they stop, doing that, you start going crazy because 99 3 ball, Hall of Fame Deadeye Blinders, like, you
can shoot from anywhere.
You could literally, you're a threat on the court as soon as you touch the half court line.
Yeah.
So that's kind of crazy to think about, and this is why a lot of people in 3-on-3 don't really use it, which is kind of weird because I guess the whole double lock meta. But
Yeah.
I mean, this PG build is dangerous.
Yeah, I think the only other team that used it besides us now were the Lakers.
Was the Lakers,
and the Lakers went on a huge run. I think they went to the Final Four.
Final Four, yeah.
Final Four. So they're the only team that really used this. Reg just put up a lot of shots. Crazy got the free boards. We're kind of taking that a little bit with our offense. We're getting there with that. When you go against this build, do you think it's a little bit different than going against some of the other builds in 3v3? Like, do you have to play it a little bit differently when you get into the PNR? Obviously, Jomar's playing lock.
Yeah.
But, like, when you switch onto it, do you have to like play like a certain like style of defense? Like
Definitely, I'm up on them because like this build, like you said, it has no dunking. So
yeah,
I'm playing for the chase down all the time. So like if I get beat to the paint, I'm playing for the chase down block, or I'm just gonna try to bait it. But with this build, I cannot give any single space, so I'm always up on them. I always got my right stick up just in case they shoot. And sometimes it's good defense, but that Hall of Fame Deadeye kicks in, the mismatch expert gold, and now you're greening a 20% yellow. So it's like sometimes you got to tip your cap. It's better offense.
Yeah.
But this build, like I said, once you step on the half court line and cross it, it's a threat, and it could shoot from anywhere. And that's what makes this build very dangerous.
Yeah. I feel like it would make it easier. They have no dunking. You can barely lay it up. You'd think it'd make it easier, right? But it's not. It's so fast, and it's such a threat in three-point line that, like,
with fades,
and being a center, you're not as fast. I mean, you got like 60-something speed compared to 89 speed with the 95 or 92 speed with the ball. So it makes it a little bit more difficult. So that's one of the best 3v3 builds. We're going to the next one, Playmaker Shot Creator 2. I use this for a little bit. There's a couple point guards in the league using this in 3v3, but I think it's slowly going down with everyone using more double shooting guard in 3v3 now. So we'll get right into it with the driving dunk. We got an 83 driving dunk, which is really good. I didn't really get blocked that much, even going against the center, going down low. Even if it wasn't a contact dunk, this build doesn't get contact dunks, but I still could get the two-hand. It was like the quick touches.
Drops.
Quick drops.
Yep.
The quick drops. The best dunking style in the game. The mid-range, pretty good. 3 points, really good. That's why I use it. You got a 96 3 ball, plus you get the dunking compared to the 6 foot. With only 99 3 balls, it's only -3 for the 3 ball here. But the shooting badges are definitely different. You got decent shooting badges. Playmaking badges are all right as well. Defense, still pretty good. It's pretty solid for a 3v3. You got a 78 steal with interceptor gold, which is much needed for the corner. Pickpocket on bronze, which can come in clutch. I had a clutch steal versus the Lakers that first week we played.
You did.
And thank God I had pickpocket. If I didn't, probably wouldn't have happened. In the physicals, I mean, you got 90 excel, so it's not too fast. The 99 stamina is huge, though. You don't see a lot of builds having 99 stamina. So having that 99 stamina is definitely a key for this year, especially with no like Gatorade boosts. I don't know if anybody knows that, but like we don't have Gatorade boosts. We can't go to do our workouts or go to the store and get some Gatorade bars to make us faster and have more stamina. So you look at that and you're like, all right, we got like no stamina at all. We need all that we can. So I mean, for you going against this build, I mean, what do you look at and like how do you play defense against it?
Well, this is definitely a more rounded build. Like you said, it has the 83 dunk, and it dunks pretty well.
Yeah.
So, this is more like a more straight up kind of defensive style. Like, I'm kind of up on them, but I also got to watch out for the drive.
Yeah.
So, you should play defense straight up. Pretty much, not really much more to say there. I mean, we just, me and Jomar usually just switch a lot of stuff. So, I try to prioritize taking away the 3 first, obviously. Especially me being a big man, because I know I have interior defense, I have block. So if they drive, I'm kind of living with those chase down blocks or intimidator blocks, if you want to call them. So I'm still playing high up on them, but I still got to be worried about the drive with the 83 drive and dunk and the posterizer and the quick drops. And let's not forget too, like we always we're living with it too. If a team wants to drive and take a 2, and I play for the chase down, and we don't get it, it's not the end of the world. So. That's pretty much it. You play straight up and, still play high, but maybe sometimes bait them to drive and just try to get a block. Yeah.
So I think that's it for the point guard builds. I think we went over all of them. I'd say, yeah, I mean, the 6-foot 3-point playmaker 2, definitely a great build for 5v5 and 3v3. Offensive threat, 5v5. Playmaker shot creator 1, really good. Playmaker shot creator 2, really good for 3v3. It just really depends on your style. I use the Playmaker shot creator 1 in 3v3 and 3-point playmaker 2 for 5v5. So that's going to wrap it up here. It's Vandy and Wolf from Pacers Gaming. This was the Pacers Gaming podcast presented by Salesforce. We'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. See you guys next time. Peace.